everyone, welcome back to Classic Automotive Services. Well, first of all, apologise for the audio this week. The microphone for some reason isn't playing ball, it's not working, so we'll have to get a new one. So we only found that out literally 2 minutes ago, so we apologise for the audio. You might have to turn it up a little bit so you can hear us. So what we done this week? We've got the TR8 progress. So if you saw last week's video, you saw the state of this power steering pump and how bad it looked. So it's now all rebuilt, repainted and refurbished. So we've got all the pictures of it all in bits. So it's out, it runs, feels lovely. They're quite simple to do inside. There's not really a lot that can go wrong with them. The only things really that you need to change on them is the seals. So we've put all new seals and everything in it, and yeah, cleaned and painted it all so it all looks lovely factory fresh. And then we've done the gearbox. So we've got the gearbox all sorted. We've stripped it down just to the bare box, and we've done the oil pump upgrade. If I grab the old one, the original oil pumps on these are plastic. Why they've done it in plastic, I'm not 100% sure. Doesn't sound like a good idea to me, as they always fail. As you can see in this one, it is totally destroyed. So it's absolutely knackered and destroyed. A lot of that's due to running the wrong gearbox oil in them. There are many opinions on what oil you should put in these. People swear by certain oils. If it works for them, then they can stick with it. I'm not going to argue with them. But the oil that I like to put in them is a high quality ATF, as standard gear oil is just way too thick for this box, puts way too much load on the pump and does that. And it also makes it quite tight through the gears as well, whereas the ATF seems to make it just change gear a lot smoother, and they run absolutely beautifully with it. So the oil pump sits inside this rear housing. So we've stripped it all down and obviously cleaned and painted everything, replaced the oil pump and just checked it all over. It's all good. We've got new poly brushes on the gearbox remote. Again, we've completely stripped the remote and cleaned the shaft because it had a bit of corrosion out on it, so that was a bit sticky. So that's all working absolutely beautifully now. Cleaned all the wiring loom and got the original wiring loom clips all on. Nice new nuts and bolts on everything. All new seals and gaskets on it, so it's pretty much ready to go back into the car when it's ready. The last thing I need to do on this gearbox is I'm waiting for two new, they're like a plastic sort of rubber bushes for this spring. I've got one which is good, but the other one fell in half when I took it off, so I've ordered two new ones of them. Actually managed to find some original Rover ones, which is good, so I ordered them. They're only 30p each, so I'm not going to waste time putting the second hand one in it. So we've got them on their way. That's the last job on the gearbox. Next on the TR8, I've got cylinder heads to strip. I've got still loads to do. Gearbox mount to strip and refurbish. The sump I've got to straighten, as it's had a hard old life and it's full of bad dents and the bottom of it's been pushed up a bit. So I've got to straighten all the sump and clean and paint all that. There's still, everything's got to be refurbished for the car. So we've got all the plating back that we sent away. Got bags and bags of plating, some gold ones. We had the headlight, the springs on the headlight mechanisms all redone as well. So there's another bag of subframe bolts, all this hardware for the rear brakes, the springs and things like that. It's all been placed again, so all like new. We've got the handbrake mechanisms, they've all been replated, so they'll feel absolutely fucker ready to go. We've got the radiators back from the radiator shop. the aircon rag, which is here. That wraps it up. Wrap it a little bit. In fact, no, I won't. I'll just go through the edge. I'll just open this up a little bit. If we have a quick look, that's the aircon rad. It looks a million times better than what it did. It didn't actually need a great deal doing to it, luckily, because it's an original aircon rad for this car and it's not rebuildable. So they've pressure tested it, straightened it, and given it a bit of a refurb, flushed it and refurbed it. We've got the radiator for the car, which is actually boxed up. We set the spare one off with it as well. So that's come back and it's had an upgraded core put in it. Around here we've got new shock absorbers, front and rears. We've got lower ball joints, wheel cylinders, new front wheel bearing kits. We opted for the slightly more expensive, but only by a couple of pounds, Timken bearings, which is what it would have had originally. Really good high quality bearings, so we've got them. So we're getting lots and lots of parts for it. We've spoken to Superflex and they're putting together a complete bush kit for the whole car for us. So that'll be here in the next few days. We've ordered that and paid for it, so that'll be here in the next few days. And there's quite a lot of them. We've gone for everything we possibly can in black, as we didn't want to put the original rubber bushes in the car, as the quality is just not there anymore. And obviously poly bushes can be quite hard, so we've gone for the softest sort of to replicate the rubber as we can, and we've gone for everything we can in black. There's a few which we've had to go for the dark purpley blue because they're not available in black, so they're on their way. The engine, that's possibly going to be done for the end of next week. The machine shop, they're extremely busy. The crankshaft is all ground and done, and we've managed to source Clevite high performance bearings for it, which is great. We was hoping to get ACL race bearings, but they're not available anymore for the Rover V8, not on a 3.5 litre. Well, 3.5, 3.9, etc. You just can't get ACL race anymore. So yeah, we've had to go for the Clevite high performance bearings, which they're still a really good high performance bearing. Far better than the cheap rubbish county stuff, which I keep saying it will not be counted. We'll not be going anywhere near this vehicle. It doesn't go anywhere near any of our vehicles, so we always do our best possible to find anything but that. So yeah, it's coming along in leaps and bounds. We've been very busy on it. So that's the update on the TR8. So, but now we're going to do a little talk on something I get asked quite regularly, and that is how to look after your classic car through the winter, and storing it over winter, laying it up over winter, things like that. My advice, first of all, is don't lay it up over winter. Just don't put it in your garage and leave it. It's one of the worst things in the world you'll ever do. You'll get things starting to seize up, things like your brakes, your fuel in your tank. The modern fuels, they degrade rapidly. The modern fuel will lose its octane after about, I don't know, probably a month and a half, 2 months. It'll start losing its octane. And it also carries ethanol, which we all know now. And if you haven't got ethanol rated rubbers on your vehicle, which a lot of people don't, it will perish all your rubbers rapidly. Not just your fuel system you've got to worry about, the rubbers on the vehicle, suspension joints, things like that. Rubber doesn't like to be left stationary. Rubber will perish if it's left stationary quite quickly, especially when it's old. All the time it's in use, rubber seems to not perish. It wears, admittedly, but it doesn't perish. Your tyres will perish. So the worst thing you can do with a classic car is lay it up over the winter. Yes, don't use it as much over the winter due to the salt and that on the roads. No one wants to take the car out and get it caked underneath with salt, etc. But the best thing you can do with it is, around about now, this time of year, before winter starts setting in, is give the car a very good service. So change your oil and your oil filter, do the whole fluids on the car. So drain the antifreeze, renew the antifreeze so you know it's got a really good mix. Well, not just a good mix, the correct mix of antifreeze in the cooling system. Go over it and check everything. Lubricate all the moving parts, door hinges, throttle linkages, just everything that moves. Lubricate it with the correct lubrication. Probably, if you want to, give it a good wax on underneath or something like that. Cavity wax, things like that, and all the cavities. Just give the whole car a good birthday. And then, yeah, by all means, put it in the garage, but don't just leave it. Start it up, get it up to temperature, take it out for a good 10 or 15 mile drive, sort of probably every couple of weeks when you get a good day. Don't leave it for any more than about a month. Take it out, put a few miles on it, 10 or 15 miles, get everything up to temperature, get the car working as it should be, keep a good amount of fresh fuel in it, and then put it back in your obviously before you put it in your garage. If it has been on salty roads, give it a good wash down, let it dry, put it back in your garage, do the same again. So just don't leave them sitting over the winter. The amount of times I've had cars, I've worked on cars which have been laid up over the winter, and they've bought the car out, they've got problems with the brakes, the fuel system, and their excuse is, oh, it was always fine when I put it away. Well, it might have been, but it's not fine now. And they get a massive bill before they can then reuse their car in the summer. So if you use it through the winter a little bit and keep on top of the maintenance, etc., you won't have to do any work to it when the summer comes around. You can just roll it out of the garage and go. So it'll save you money in the long run, and it does best for the car. Covering the car itself, I'm not a fan of it. Obviously this one's covered in here, just because we're working in here and don't want it getting covered in muck and dirt. But the cover does come off of it regularly, and it's not going to be here much longer. Yeah, covering cars I'm not a fan of. They can mark and scratch your paintwork. They don't allow, even the breathable covers, they do not allow the paint to breathe properly. It will cause micro blistering, cracking, crazing. A lot of these cars have got so many different layers of paint on them now, and that will expand and contract at different rates with different temperatures. And it just causes a lot of issues. The best thing you can do is, again, leave the car uncovered. And once every couple of weeks, go and give it a good wash down, and you won't have any issues. So that's my advice on storing the cars over the winter. Whether people agree with it or not, well, that's up for them to make their mind up. But it's something I get asked quite a lot regularly, and it's something I thought I'd put in the video due to the weather changing and winter coming in. So if you want to follow the advice, that's fine. If you don't, well, that's your choice at the end of the day. So on that note, I think we will leave it there this week. I don't think we've got anything else to put in. Other than at the end of the video, we'll put all the photographs of the power steering pump in pieces. I've got really good photographs of it all completely disassembled, so you can see what's actually inside it and how it works. Same with the gearbox. So we'll put them in at the end of the video. So please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.